I stand atop the castle wall, the cold stones beneath my feet as silent witnesses to the terror that grips our hearts. My name is Einar, and though the winds of change have swept through many a fortress, none have whispered such ominous tales as those carried on tonight's chilling breeze. Castles laid waste, townsfolk vanished, their screams swallowed by the night. No soul left to tell the tale. And now, it is our turn to face the shadows that stretch hungrily across the land. The moon, pale and indifferent, casts its ghostly light upon the battlements, illuminating the fear etched into the faces of my comrades. We are but a breath away from the unknown, a breath away from sharing the fate of those whose stories ended in silence. The murmurs of the men, hushed and fearful, reach my ears as I gaze into the blackness beyond our walls. "It is said the beasts are not of this world," whispers one of the guards, his voice trembling. Shadows given form, moving like smoke yet leaving behind naught but death. "Hold your tongue," I snap, though my own heart races with the same dread. Such tales are born of fear. We shall hold fast, as our forefathers did before us. But even as I speak, I cannot shake the feeling of unseen eyes upon me, watching from the inky void. The torches flicker, their light struggling against the encroaching darkness. My grip tightens on my sword, the leather hilt slick with sweat. The weight of my chainmail, once a comfort, now feels like a shroud, heavy and suffocating. The castle itself seems to groan under the weight of impending doom. Each creak and moan of the stonework sends a shiver down my spine. I peer into the night, trying to discern movement, but the darkness is a cloak, hiding whatever horrors it might conceal. A cry pierces the night, a sentry's shout, cut off abruptly. My heart hammers in my chest as I rush towards the source, torch in hand. The flames cast wild shadows, revealing glimpses of fear-stricken faces. I find the sentry, his eyes wide and lifeless, his body crumpled in a heap. Blood seeps into the cracks of the stone, dark and foreboding. "It has begun," mutters an old soldier beside me, his voice barely more than a breath. "God save us all." I swallow hard, forcing myself to remain steady. "We stand together, or we fall together. Let not the shadows claim our courage." But even as we prepare to face the unknown, I cannot help but feel the weight of an ancient dread pressing upon us, as if the very night itself has turned against us. The castle walls, once symbols of strength and safety, now feel like the bars of a prison, trapping us with an unseen terror. The air grows colder, the very breath of the night turning to frost upon my lips. I stare into the dark void beyond the walls, my heart a drumbeat of impending doom. Then, without warning, a searing light splits the darkness, a fiery portal tearing through the fabric of the night itself. The ground beneath us trembles, and from the gaping maw of the portal, a torrent of hellish demonic forces pours forth, their shrieks and roars an unholy symphony. The sight is unlike anything I have ever witnessed. Fiery beasts with eyes like molten coals, clawed limbs, and wings that blot out the moonlight. Their forms are twisted, as if the very essence of nightmare has been given flesh. The first wave crashes against our walls with a fury that shakes the very stones. "To arms!" I cry, though the words feel hollow in the face of such horror. My sword, a trusted companion in countless battles, feels woefully inadequate against these abominations. The men rally to my call, their faces pale but resolute. We have no choice but to stand and fight. The battle erupts in a cacophony of steel and screams. I swing my blade, the weight of each strike reverberating through my bones. A demon lunges at me, its eyes burning with malevolent glee. I sidestep, bringing my sword down in a swift arc, severing its head from its body. The creature's blood sizzles upon the stones, a foul stench rising with the steam. All around me my comrades clash with the infernal horde. The air is thick with the scent of sweat and blood, the cries of the dying mingling with the roars of the damned. I catch glimpses of the men's faces, twisted in fear and determination as they fight for every inch of ground. "Hold the line!" I shout, rallying those nearest to me. "Do not let them breach the keep." But even as I speak, the demons press harder, their numbers seemingly endless. One of the beasts, larger than the rest, crashes through the gate, scattering men like leaves in a storm. It swings a massive claw, cleaving through armor and flesh with terrifying ease. I rush to meet it, my heart pounding with a mix of terror and defiance. We clash in a maelstrom of fury. Its eyes lock onto mine, filled with a primal, unholy hatred. It swings its claw, and I barely dodge, feeling the wind of its strike whip past my face. I counter with a thrust, driving my sword deep into its belly. The beast howls, its blood a torrent of fire that splashes against my armor, searing my flesh. Pain ignites my senses, but I do not falter. With a roar, I wrench my sword free and swing again, severing the beast's arm. It recoils, it screams a cacophony of agony. My comrades, emboldened by the sight, surge forward, striking at the wounded creature with renewed vigor. The battle rages on, a chaotic, bloody dance of life and death. Each moment stretches into an eternity as we fight tooth and nail against the unending tide. The walls, once our fortress, now feel like the last bastion against a world gone mad. I lose track of time, my mind consumed by the rhythm of battle. Strike, parry, dodge, and strike again. The demons fall one by one, but their numbers do not dwindle. It is as if the portal itself feeds them, birthing new horrors with each passing second. As the night wears on, my strength wanes. My sword feels heavy, my limbs sluggish. Yet, I fight on, driven by a primal instinct to survive. In the midst of the chaos, a new sound cuts through the din. A horn, clear and resonant. Reinforcements? Hope flares within me, a flicker of light in the darkness. I turn, seeking the source, and see a group of warriors charging from the keep, led by the castle's commander, his armor gleaming in the firelight. "Drive them back," he roars, his voice a beacon of hope. "For the honor of our ancestors." With a final, desperate surge, we press forward, hacking and slashing with renewed fury. The demons, perhaps sensing the shift in momentum, begin to falter. Inch by bloody inch, we push them back towards the portal. Our swords and shields a wall of defiance, but the portal remains, a gaping wound in the fabric of our reality. Even as we force the demonic horde back, more creatures spill forth, their shrieks blending with the cries of the dying. The reinforcements bring a momentary reprieve, but it is clear the battle is far from over. "Seal the breach," the commander shouts, his voice carrying over the chaos. "We must find a way to close the portal." Easier said than done. The ground is littered with the bodies of the fallen, both man and beast. The air is thick with the smell of blood and ash. I fight my way towards the commander, cutting down any demon that dares to stand in my path. "Commander," I call out, reaching his side. "What can be done?" He turns to me, his face grim. "The portal is a gateway from the depths of hell. There must be a way to close it, but we need time to find it. Hold the line, Einar. Buy us that time." I nod, determination hardening within me. We will hold, or we will die trying. And so the battle continues, a relentless storm of fury and fire. The demons surge, and we push back, a desperate dance upon the edge of oblivion. The night is filled with the sounds of battle, the clash of steel, the screams of the dying, and the unending roar of the portal. As dawn begins to break, the portal's light flickers, but it does not close. The battle has only just begun, and the shadows are far from done with us. The first light of dawn breaks over the horizon, casting long shadows across the bloodied battlefield. Yet, even the sun's arrival brings no solace, for the portal still yawns wide, spewing forth the demonic horde. The ground beneath us quakes with their relentless assault, and the air is thick with the acrid scent of sulfur and blood. The men around me fight with a ferocity born of desperation. their swords and shields a fragile barrier against the tide of hellish abominations. I stand among them, my sword slick with the blood of countless demons, my armor battered and scorched. Each breath is a struggle, each heartbeat a reminder of the thin line between life and death. As the battle rages on, a new terror emerges from the portal. Towering figures clad in obsidian armor, their eyes burning with unholy fire, stride forth. These are the commanders of the Abyss, the architects of our doom. Their presence alone sends a wave of dread through our ranks, their very steps shaking the earth. The largest of these commanders, a hulking beast with horns like a ram and wings that blot out the sky, lets out a roar that echoes through the castle. In one hand, it wields a massive axe, its blade shimmering with dark magic. The creature's gaze sweeps over the battlefield, settling on me with a malevolent gleam. Einar, the commander of the castle, calls out, his voice strained but resolute. We must not let them breach the inner keep. Rally the men. I nod, a steely resolve hardening within me. To me, I shout, my voice carrying over the din of battle. Form ranks. We hold here or we fall. The men rally to my side, their faces etched with determination and fear. We form a line, shields locked together, swords at the ready. The ground trembles as the demonic commander approaches, its footsteps thunderous. The air hums with dark energy, the very fabric of reality seeming to warp around the creature. Stand firm, I call out, my voice steady. We are the last line of defense. Let them come, and we will send them back to the Abyss. The demon commander charges, its axe swinging with terrifying speed. I raise my shield, the impact jarring my entire body. The force of the blow sends me staggering, but I hold my ground. Around me, the men clash with the lesser demons, their cries of defiance mingling with the roars of the damned. With a growl, I swing my sword, the blade biting into the demon's leg. It howls in pain, its fiery blood spraying across the ground. The creature retaliates, its axe carving a deadly arc through the air. I duck, the blade whistling past my head, and counter with a thrust to its abdomen. The demon commander roars, its fury palpable. It swings again, and this time, I am not fast enough. The axe catches my side, the pain searing through me like a brand. I grit my teeth, refusing to fall, and drive my sword into the creature's chest. It staggers, its roar turning into a gurgle as dark blood pours from the wound. Now! I shout, rallying the men. Press the attack! The soldiers surge forward, their swords flashing in the dawn light. The demon commander, weakened and bleeding, is overwhelmed by our combined assault. It falls to its knees, its eyes burning with hatred as the life drains from its monstrous form. With a final, defiant roar, it collapses, its body dissolving into ash. But even as the commander falls, more demons pour forth from the portal, led by other infernal leaders. Each one brings fresh horrors to the battlefield. Winged fiends that dive from the sky, serpentine beasts that slither through the ranks, and armored juggernauts that crush everything in their path. The battle becomes a chaotic melee, a desperate struggle against overwhelming odds. I fight with every ounce of strength I have left, my sword a blur of steel and blood. Around me, men fall, their screams a haunting chorus that echoes through the shattered courtyard. As the sun rises higher, the shadow of the portal remains, a dark stain upon the world. The demons are relentless, their numbers seemingly endless. Hope flickers and fades, yet we fight on, driven by a primal need to survive, to protect what remains of our home. The castle walls, once a symbol of safety, now feel like a cage, trapping us with the horrors from the abyss. And yet, amidst the chaos and bloodshed, a spark of defiance burns within me. We may be outnumbered, but we are not defeated. Not yet. With a final defiant roar, I charge into the fray, my sword raised high. The battle is far from over, and the shadows have yet to claim their victory. The sun hangs high in the sky, casting a harsh light over the battlefield strewn with the fallen. The castle walls, once proud and unyielding, now bear the scars of our desperate struggle. The demons continue their assault, but there is a strange shift in the air, an ebbing of their relentless tide. Their numbers, once seemingly endless, now dwindle as if the very portal itself has grown weary. I stand amidst the chaos, my body battered and bleeding, each movement a testament to the agony coursing through me. My sword, slick with the blood of countless demons. Around me, my comrades fight with the same grim determination, their faces etched with exhaustion and defiance. Suddenly, the ground beneath us trembles, and a deep, resonant hum fills the air. The portal, that hellish wound in the fabric of our world, flickers and begins to waver. The demons hesitate, their monstrous faces twisted in confusion and fear. With a final thunderous clap, the portal collapses in on itself, sealing shut with a blinding flash of light. The remaining demons, cut off from their infernal source, dissolve into ash, their screams echoing in the sudden silence. A collective sigh of relief sweeps through our ranks, but it is short-lived. The battlefield is a grim tableau of death and destruction, the cost of our victory etched into the very stones of the castle. I collapse to my knees, the weight of my injuries finally catching up with me. Blood oozes from countless wounds, staining the ground beneath me. "Einar!" a voice calls out, and through the haze of pain, I see the castle's healer rushing towards me. His hands are gentle but firm as he assesses my injuries, his face a mask of concern. "You fought bravely," he says, his voice soothing. "Rest now, and let us tend to your wounds." I nod weakly, my vision swimming. The healer and his assistants lift me onto a stretcher, carrying me towards the keep where tents have been set up. The pain is overwhelming, but there is a strange numbness as well, a detachment from the world around me. As they work to clean and bandage my wounds, I drift in and out of consciousness, haunted by the memories of the battle. The faces of the fallen, both comrades and foes, flash before my eyes. The screams, the roars, the clash of steel. It all blends into a nightmarish symphony that I cannot escape. Hours pass, or perhaps days. Time loses meaning as I lie there, my body slowly mending, but my mind still trapped in the horrors of the fight. The healer visits often, his presence a comforting anchor in the storm of my thoughts. "You will recover," he tells me, though his eyes betray a shadow of doubt. But the scars, they may never fully heal. Eventually, I am strong enough to sit up, to take in the full extent of the devastation. The castle, though still standing, is a hollow shell of its former glory. The survivors move through the ruins like ghosts, their faces pale and haunted. There is a solemn air, a collective mourning for all that was lost. As I look out over the battlements, a chill runs down my spine. The portal may be closed, the demons vanquished, but the darkness that brought them here still lingers. It is an unspoken fear, a shadow that hangs over us all. We have won this battle, but at what cost? And will the shadows return, hungrier and more determined than before? The healer approaches, his face grave. "Einar, there is something you should see," he says, leading me to a secluded corner of the courtyard. There, etched into the very stones, is a strange, pulsating sigil, a remnant of the portal's dark magic. "It appeared after the portal closed," he explains, his voice hushed. "We do not know what it means, but it cannot be a good omen." I stare at the sigil, a sense of dread settling in my gut. The battle is over, but the war, it seems, has only just begun. The shadows have left their mark, a silent promise of their return. As I turn away, I cannot shake the feeling that this is far from the end. We have survived, but the darkness is patient. It will wait, and when it returns, we must be ready. For now we heal, we rebuild, but we do so with the knowledge that the shadows are never truly gone. They are always watching, always waiting. And the next time they strike, it may be with a force that we cannot withstand.